Hi everybody, hello, welcome back to our purple mega flippy floppy. So we made a little bit of progress yesterday, not masses. I just admit I was tired, had a headache, wasn't really great, but we did get a couple of pages done, that's the main thing. So we've got this page done. We need a journaling card in there. Let's just do that straight off and then that page will be finished. So I want a piece of my purple paper pad. Oh my life, this is all getting a bit messy now. Let's see what we've got. See what I've got by way of remnants first. Oh, I've got that. I've got that actually. Is that about the right size? Maybe could do with being a little bit longer, but that would do. That'll do nicely. I'm going to use that. Try and keep on top of the remnants if I can. So I'd like it to be, allowing for the glue of course as ever, I'd like it to be about pencil. Off to a flying start. So I'd like it to be to about there. And height-wise, allowing for the glue and everything, I'd like it to be about there. So let's just trim that out, because once we've got this done, that's a whole other page we've got done. And that always makes you feel better. There we go. I'll pop that back in the remnants. And where's this mark? Up there. Right, let's just check that for size. So that's pretty good. Pretty good. Right. I don't really need to back that. I don't think I will. I think I'll leave it as it is. But I do want to decorate it a little bit, so let's have a look. I also want to, yes, get in your groove, woman, you're forgetting what you're doing. I'm going to trim the corners off on the 1/4 inch. Just made a hash of that first one. Right, ink around it. And I've stitched the pocket, so I don't know if I need to stitch this or not. I think I will stitch around it. They always look better when they're stitched around, don't they? Look a bit more finished, I think. So I hope you're all doing well and keeping up. Yesterday was a bit of a quiet day, so hopefully you managed to keep up with that, or catch up anyway, if you're needing to catch up. It's quite a nice day here today, actually. Quite spring-like. Not too warm, but it's not cold either, so that's great, suits me. Right, so there we are, we've got that, and I'll stitch around that, but I just want to work out what I'm going to put on it first. I quite like that on it. Yeah, I do. What else have we got? Have we got anything else? I've got these smaller ones, but probably not. I think we're into just whole papers now. Yeah, so if it's going to be anything, it's going to be that. Okay, so let's trim that out if I can. Get it square. Ooh, that was good. Needs just a little bit more off it, but it's not bad. You never know, if I did this for a few years, I might get good at it. A little bit more. And then this first side that I did that just needs a touch more. There we go, excellent. So that's all that. So I think I will sew around this as well before I stick it on. But that's quite pretty, I quite like that. So let's ink around that. I don't want to round the corners on this because these are square, so I'm going to leave it square. I usually put these in sort of a fabric wrap, but I'm not sure I've got any purple actually. I'll have to have a look through my fabrics and see what I've got. Right, okay, so that's that. So I'm going to go off and stitch around that and stitch around this, and then I'll see you again. Okay, so there we go. Just trim these ends off. A nice big journaling card. So I want to stick this on here. I think that's going to look lovely. I'm going to push these stitches through first to make my job a little easier. There we are. I'm going to use collall, and then I can move it around a little bit if I need to. Hopefully I'll get it right first time, but you never know. The bit that we were doing yesterday, where I was sticking it onto the washi tape, it's taken perfectly overnight. It's really stuck down firmly. I left the clips on it all night, but it's great this morning, so that's all right. So about there. Yeah, I think so. Let's just lift it up and have a look. Yeah, I think that's all right. So I'll just get my Timmy toe, because I think I've got quite a bit of excess glue. So when you do this, push it into the bit that you're sticking on, and then the excess sort of goes under it. I think that's square. Yeah, I think that's all right. Okay, and because I've sewn that independently, you've got no stitching lines on the back, which is marvellous. That's what we're after. So now I want to add something to it, some dingly danglies. So let's have a look and see what we've got in the chipboard that I can add. Well, I've got those hearts for sure. I could add one of those. Quite like that for you. That's nice though, isn't it? That perfume bottle. Yeah, that's lovely. Oh, that one that says lavender. That's really nice. Oh, they're all nice. I'm going to leave that lavender one out because I really like it. have a look through the bits of ephemera I cut out of the pad and see if there's anything on there that I like the look of. I like these little tags. They're quite nice. About the same size though, aren't they? I'm not sure if that's a bit too big actually. What would that look like there? Let's bring in the journal and have a look and see what we think. So that's going to go in there. Like that. Yeah, I probably don't want too much, you know, because I don't want to cover this up. It's really nice. There's that. But that's the same as that, so that's no good. There's this one. That one. I think maybe one of the chipboard hearts. Wherever they want. There's one more. There's two there, in fact. I think that's what's needed. Right, let's push all those up there. To safety. Yeah, I think that's going to look nice. So let's get this out then. Make a hole in these. I want that just dangling off here. Not going to see that hole, am I? Never in a million years. So let's put it on the white side. That one I can see. And this one wants to be kind of in the corner. About there. Right. Let's put a hole in all of those. Where's my mark? There's my mark. This has already got a guide for the hole in it. I don't need to back that, it'll be fine. It's just a dingly dangly. And a hole here. Lovely. So just thread those up together and that will be that journaling card and therefore that page done. Which is marvellous. I wish I had other cord than this that didn't fray. Once they're keen to fray, but I haven't, so there's no point going on about it. I haven't got it. Right, through there, through this one, through the card itself. Excellent, that's lovely. I like that. And just tie that off. My thumb is getting better, really is getting better. So there we have it, right. Excellent, so there's another page done. So that just goes into there. I'm just being still careful with that bit that I've just glued on because it won't be quite, you know, dry yet. That goes there and these dingle dangle over the top. How pretty is that? Marvellous. Yes, marvellous. Right, so let's move ahead. I've got the, yeah, this, it's stuck really well. Really, really well. So this is we're left now with this side and this and this. Okay, so this one, we'll come back to this, to the front of it, because it's just going to be decorated, that's all. But on the back, I want just a thin belly band. So, what have I got to make a thin belly band out of? Is there enough of that? No, not quite. Let's see the remnant situation. See what I've got. I've got a little bit of that. Except it really does go that way. Oh, that does though. Yeah, that would be all right. Let's use that. So let's just see where we need to cut it. It's beginning to get just a touch unwieldy, this. You could say. So I want to cut it there. And then I'll work out how deep I want it. I don't want it very deep. An inch tops, I would say. Where's my mark? Okay, where's my mark? It's ridiculous. Oh, there. I was looking on the wrong side. Doesn't feel very straight to me that way. Let's do it this way. So about an inch. I'm going for an inch. Oh. So that should now fit on there, which it does perfectly. So I'm just going to ink around there. And I don't think I'm going to... Oh, I've got some... I'll show you what I've got in a minute. Might go on nicely. Lovely. Yeah, when I was at Hobbycraft the other day, I got these little... They're described as gems, but they're those little sort of enamel looking... Just flatbacks, enamel looking. I think they might look quite nice on there. A couple of those. Yeah. I mean, the alternative, I guess, is that we use something like this and stick it in the middle, which would look quite nice, wouldn't it? What to do? I've also got those funny shaped pieces, these ones. I've got some fabric Mr. F's just handed me. I'm still not sure which way these go. I think they might go that way. I don't know, I'm going to leave it plain and put these dots on it. I have got these stamps, but they're just a bit too wide, too tall for that. I think these are Kathy Holden, actually. Let's open these up and see where we're at. Well, actually, they're quite nice, really. Should I just put one on each end so it looks like better put some glue on? Better fix them on with glue. I want it quite near the end, actually. I'm going to use the third row down. That on there. Yeah, I think that's nice. It's terrible, isn't it, when you have to agonise over every little thing. But you know, you do. I would like to be more sort of carefree and just, oh yeah, that's near enough. but it's just not me, I'm afraid. There we are, that looks all right to me. Perfect. Loads of those left for somewhere else. Right, okay then, let's stick this on. There is an up, that pattern does have an up. So is that about halfway? I'd say so. And there, lovely. Excellent. Let's just press that down. It's got a bit of gluage. Right, I'm just going to put a clip on those. Over the enamel bit, or fake enamel, I suppose it is. Just there. And that should help it all dry up. And we'll come back to that once that's dry, put something in behind it. But that's easy. Right, so the next one is this page. Right, so on this page, you know, no matter which papers you're using, whatever, you will have this crease here, this bit that's stuck on here from this page. So I'd like to hide that. I don't like it when you can see the mechanisms that things are held on by. So what I'm going to do is get a piece of maybe some of this Artie Maze. Would be quite nice. Yeah, I quite like this bit actually. There's nothing wrong with that. And I want it the same width as this piece. So that's there. And I want it about there. I'll tell you what that measures in a second. So cut that off at the same width as your page. And down from the top, and that measures 2 3/4 inches. And then I need to do the same with a piece of white. So I've got this. Is that wide enough? Yeah. So I can, but I want it longer. Don't cut this off at 2 3/4 as well. I want it a bit longer. I want it to come probably 1/2 inch lower. So this was 2 3/4, so I wanted about 3 1/4. So let's cut that bit off first at 3 1/4, and you'll see what I'm up to in a minute. And it'll all make sense. 3 1/4, and then I want it the same width as this. So let's just put that on top and mark where it comes to. Which is there, right. Great, so now I've got these 2 pieces like that that are the same width as this here, and one is 1/2 inch longer than the other, or thereabouts. Yeah, 1/2 inch, and they're going to fit up there. So what I want to do now is put them so the bottom edges are equal. So tap them down so the bottom edge, this edge, is equal, and then I'm going to tear them out. And this white white paper is really quite thick, so it's going to take a little bit of tearing. I think it needs to tear that way. So down to this corner down here. There we go. And this little bit here just needs to come off. I was tearing it the wrong way. Okay, so they're going to go there. Like that. And that's going to be a tuck up. Careful how you say that. It's a tuck up. So let's ink around it. And they've got the same profile because you tore them together. So I'm going to ink all the way around this. Theoretically, you shouldn't see the top of the, the sides, but sometimes you do see that bit of white on the edge, and I don't like it, so I'll just ink it. Ink along here, which you will see. Then that there. So that's how they go, like that, into there. So let's stick one on top of the other. Then we're just dealing with one thing, which is always easier. Yikes. Okay. There we go. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Right, so now we need to stick that on. And I'm anticipating a problem kind of down there because of the washi tape again. But now we know that we just, if you're sticking on, me personally, you might have washi tape that's a bit more receptive to glue. But for me, I know I have to leave it overnight. Otherwise, it just doesn't take. There we are. So I'm just gluing around those, the three edges that aren't torn. And I need to bring this in here. Fold this up so and push it right against it. Line it up down the edge there. Make sure that that folds over without being impeded at all. Like that, we're all right there, yeah, perfect. Stick that down. Lovely, so that's that. Perfect. Just keep checking that you haven't pushed it so far up this doesn't flop over very easily, because you want that to be an easy flop. So the next thing to do is to make a journaling card for here. Looks nice, that looks pretty. Right, what am I going to use for my journaling card? Good question. I'm thinking ahead now as to what I'm going to decorate it with. Maybe that. Maybe that. Oh, let's put the lid on my glue. I tell you what, I think that these probably are stuck by now. So let's take those clips off there and let's put in the thing that I want to put in, which is a sheet of probably Artie Maize, one of the prettier ones. That one, that's very pretty. Let's do that. Oh, that's pretty as well. This one here will do me nicely. And the paper obviously hasn't been dead straight in the printer, and I've just got a little margin down there. So I'm just going to take that off. And then we'll see where we're at. It's just a skinny little bit, but I don't want it on there. So if I fold that in half that way, is that going to fit? Oh, perfectly. Perfectly perfect. So I tell you what, let's ink, no, in case I have to cut something off, because then it would be a waste. I'm going to get my flapping around with this, let us know tomorrow. I'm going to get my scoreboard out, because I want to fold this exactly in half. So I'm going to use this straight edge of my scoreboard. So put that up there into the corner, then fold this over till it matches it and press it down. That's lovely. And then if I fold that in half, will it fit in there? Yes, it will. So let's do the same again. Put it there in the corner, fold that up to meet it. Lovely. That's great. There we go. It's just a bit easier if you use a scoreboard. So there we have it. That's our paper. And of course it's a whole sheet of journaling paper when you open it up. Perfect. And yet it looks pretty. So let's ink all the way around that. I just wanted to check that we could fit it all in before I spent my time inking around it. I'm not going to stitch around it. Don't think it needs it really. But you can if you want to. Absolutely. Don't let me stop you. One of you lovely ladies has sent me some purple digitals to use, and I'm going to print them out today. I'll show you them tomorrow. A lady, I think her name is Letha K, but I'll make sure of that. I'm not sure how you pronounce it either, which is really bad. So I'm just going to press that down a little bit, but I don't want to crease it too much because it makes journaling on it difficult then. Come in then, you big baby. And I'm just going to pop that in behind that belly band. Come on. I'm going to put it in that way because that's lavender, isn't it? I think it's lavender. There we go. Right. So that's that done now. So that's 2 pages we've done today. Wow. We are motoring. Let's do the journaling card for this. Now, I want to use some... I'm going to use some of the purple from the design pack. See what I can find that I like. I quite like the hearts. Let's just move that aside and see what fits in here. What about this? It's a bit dark, isn't it? But I want something about that size. What about that? What about that? It's a bit short. Blast it. What's this? Oh, no. Ah, no, I'm going to have to... Somebody was suggesting I use the flamingos. No. I can tell you. Don't watch this expecting flamingos to pop up, because they're not going to. I just like them. There's some ones that's like a hexagon type thing. Quite like them. Let's see if I can find them. Yeah, here they are. These ones. These are quite nice, aren't they? Let's tear that out. Let's have a change. There we go. Right. So, how wide do you want it? I want it to come in a fair way, actually, on each side, because... So about there, I'd say. And lengthwise, I'd like it to about there. So let's move this to one side. It's becoming a whole thing now to move. So let's trim down here, and I'll tell you what that measures now in a second. It measures 4 inches. 4 inches. I'm going to cut it off at 4. Did not mean to do that. I might as well just trim it along here when I've got it, when I've got the chopper out. And I'll tell you what that is in a sec. Ooh. It is 7 inches, so it's 4 by 7. And that's going to slide up into there perfectly. That looks nice, doesn't it? Right, but I want to stick something on it, obviously. So I'm thinking that this... Come on. Yeah, that's really good journaling. It's a very light mauvey colour. But I'm thinking that that would go on there quite nicely. So let's do that. Where's the straight edges? Let's cut to a straight edge. One that I know is straight. Oops, I'm going to chop that off the top just in case. Just in case I wreck it. Because I really like that bit. You should see the state of my desk. But what can you do? What can you do when you're creating? You've got to have all your stuff out. I'm all over the place. I've got the sewing machine over there. I've got a bin right beside me, but on top of the bin is my design pad with all my remnants on it. So, yeah. Right, let's have a look. This is a very Provence scene, isn't it? So I'm going to put that there, like that. Let's try it in the journal just to make sure. Yeah, I like that. I like it much better in the journal than I do out. So let's ink around all of these. I'm going to leave this one square because the corners of this are square and they're quite close. So yeah, I'm going to leave it square. Get out of the way. So I'm just going to carry on inking round this, ink the back, ink round my Provence picture, and sew around them both, and then I'll be back to you. Okay, see you in a sec. Right, so I've done what I said, I've sewn around everything, and I was just about to stick that on there, and I turned it over to put the glue on, and I thought, wow, I really like that. And I'm wondering if that would actually look better on there. I really, really like it, and it's a bit more journaling, isn't it? Let's just try it for size. I like that. I really do. I'm going to use that side. Hang on, let's just shove that back in again. Try it every way up. That's that side. It is pretty. Oh my goodness me, I can't decide now. Or that side. No, I think I'm probably going to go with the window. Just for the overall look of the journal. Okay, that's fine. That was just an everyday dilemma. I've been round the stitches and pushed them in. Oh dear, it's terrible when you can't decide. This Stamperia paper, it always does this to me. It's so pretty on both sides that it's always difficult trying to decide. But one thing I do think is that I'm going to have to buy another 8x8 pad and really have a good scout around and see if I can find the cardboard ephemera pieces, because they would be really helpful if I could. That's about there, I think. So just inside the stitches. Let's have a quick look. I think that's okay. I'd prefer it nearer the bottom than the top, so it is, so that's fine. Fairly equal on both sides. Lovely, yeah, that's grand. Just get my towel. There we go. So I can't really do too much to decorate this. It's going in there like that. Let me just check that that isn't catching on anything in that corner. Feels like it is. Where's my ruler? I prefer my ruler for this sort of thing. That's it. There we go. Yeah, so I'm left with this, which is quite plain. I have got, you know, those, that's an empty packet, these dotties that I could put along there. Or, you know, if you've got, what do you call it, the drops? Oh, can't remember. But you know what I mean, I'm sure. I could put 3 of those on there. I think, in fact, I will do that. Just to, I don't think, it's right at the bottom. I think you'll still be able to use it for journaling. So one there, and I'm going to put the darkest one, which is that one, there. Lovely. And then the next one around there, and I'm going to have the one that we used last time. Way. I've got to find my sticky pencil somewhere. It'll be around somewhere, I just don't know where. Just make sure it's square. Yeah. And a third one about then. I'm going to make that out of the lightest colour. Just trying to get them as equal as I can. Yeah, happy with that. It's just about all the decoration we can get on there, to be honest. Right, great. So that's that whole stretch done. That's done. So we've got this to do now. Right. So this has got a button closure, as you can see. So what I need to not forget is to put a tie down here that I can attach it to. So let's do that before we do anything else, just simply for the risk of forgetting to do it. So just want some tape. I'm going to use double-sided, not for any reason really, it's just all the tape I've got to hand that I know is really strong. So let's just cut a piece of that. See where we want it to go, which is, that's the centre there, down here, right. So put my double-sided on right up to the edge. There we go. Oh my goodness, it's beginning to get just a bit awkward to wield around. I've just got an excess little bit hanging over that edge, and it'll drive me mad if I don't trim it off. So the string is going to go on there, but I don't really want to take that off because it's double-sided and it'll get stuck on everything, so we'll just live with it as it is. Now what I want to do, because I've got all this masking tape and I've also got this bit that's folded in at the top, I'm going to cover it with a whole page. Okay. I think I'll use design paper. I'm just looking through what I've got again. That's really pretty, isn't it? Oh, there's a butterfly there. Look at that. That's very pretty. I'll leave that out. The ticking, I think, is a bit strong. Oh, these are all ephemera I could have been using if I'd remembered. That's quite pretty, but just a bit shabby, I think. Does that look a bit shabby? Don't know. I'll leave it out. Usually I'm looking for shabby stuff, but not on this occasion. Ooh, that's nice. Yeah, then we're into ticking, which I don't think is the right thing. So, right, I've got some choices. I've got that one, which is quite cream, but I have introduced a bit of cream up here, so probably could get away with that, and it's gorgeous. Or there's this one. That would fit in there beautifully. Or there's this one, which also would, because we've got a lot of butterflies in this journal. So from sort of there to there. I think that's possibly the best. I do like that though. Oh, come on. I think I'm going to use this. I think it's the best fit for what we've got. What we've got and what we're doing. I do also, just to throw into the mix, have what's left of the of this. I've got pages in here. Those pages. And they're nice as well, aren't they? That's gorgeous, that one. No, I think I've convinced myself I'm going to use this. Right. So let's trim off the. This is from My Porch Prints. I think it might be called Shabby Purple. I'm going to trim off that very shabby bit up that side. And see where I want it to come. So I'm going to use this as the guide for where I want to cut it. So hold it up to there and mark it square. Is that right? Do I need to put a gusset in it? Do I? No. So that's where I want to cut it. So let's trim it at that first off. And then I need to get the height right. So I need that there, yeah. And just down to the bottom. I'll trim that. It's better coming from the bottom than the top, I think. Okay, so there's our precious piece of paper. What does it look like? Looks nice, actually. I think that looks nice. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's fold that down. It's one flip less to worry about. So now what I want to do is this. I want to get my... Stay up there, please, out of harm's way. Get my cutting board. And I'm going to measure down the width of the Timmy ruler. So what's that? What does it measure? 1.5. So I'm going to measure 1.5 in from each side. Is that enough? No, I'm going to measure it at 1 inch. 1 inch down each side. Put a pencil line in. 1 inch down here. Pencil line. Then I'm going to come in about 2 inches from the top and make a mark there. 2 inches from the top again, make a mark there, and then from the bottom I'm going to come in 4 inches. I'm going to come up from the bottom 4 inches, make a mark there, and same on the other side, make a mark there. Right, so what I'm going to do now is get my Crocodile Big Bite. Put it onto the largest hole setting, And just where these two lines intersect, I'm going to make a hole. Trying to be fairly accurate. There we go. So that's our holes in there. Now then, what's going to happen is we're going to have two slits, so two pockets going all the way through. But this is just paper, so it needs to be reinforced. So we've now got the holes where we're going, so we know what we're doing. So I just need to put something like that, just so it's going to reinforce where I'm going to cut. So, yeah, just that's fine. And I just need another piece similar. Let's just cut this off. It'll do, it's just something that's going to support it a little bit. There we go. So, let's stick those down like that, over the holes and above and below the hole, just so it supports it all when we cut the slit out. So halfway over the hole, that should be pretty much halfway over the hole. Same with this one. Don't think I need that extra bit on the end. Let's chop that off. So there we go. So that's our two bits of reinforcing on there. Lovely. Now what we want to do is actually cut the slits. So you can see where the holes are here, just in fairness. Where are they? There's 1, 2, made such a good, 3, 4. Yeah, I can see them. Right, so taking your Timmy ruler, go to the bottom of one hole and the bottom of the other, and take your scalpel and go from one to the other. Well, I can't see where that hole is. I'm just going to make a mark there. Like that. And turn it round. I'm going to do the other, but I'm going to make a little mark where that is because I'm really struggling to see it. So that's that one and that's that one. So from the top of that hole to the top of the other, there we go. And then you just need to get your big bite again and cut through it for the bit on the back. So through those holes that you've already made. And that piece should fall out. But of course it isn't, because the glue wasn't dry. So I'm just going to have to go over those lines again with my scalpel. I'm going to turn this purple side over to the pink side, and then I can see it. I can see the lines. See where the holes are. See? You can see them more clearly. There we are. So let's just reinforce that. Is that cut this time? Yeah, I think so. And the other one. It's just being very stubborn, isn't it? Very stubborn. I think I need to cut that again. My goodness me. We're getting there. We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. There we go. Oh, I've just got a little bit left in there, look. Tore instead of cut. Just take that off. Right. So the same rigmarole with the next one down. Next one up. Where is it? Up. Just going to draw around it with my pencil while I see it. And then I'm going to cut through it with the big bite. There we go. Then the same kerfuffle again. So from the top of the hole to the top of the hole. But I'm going to draw this a couple of times this time. Feels like it's cut. And then the top one. I ordered some new plates for my Gemini MIDI because the little plastic one that comes with it is neither use nor ornament. It's bowed like a banana. So I ordered what I thought. Oh yeah, that just dropped out. So there we have it, 2 slits. Perfect. Yeah, I ordered what I thought was the right ones off Amazon, but when they came they were too thick, so they're getting sent back, and I've ordered some different ones. Well, I've got Mr. F on the case actually. So he's ordered me what he thinks is the right ones. I'm sure if he thinks they are, they are. Right, what I want to do now before I do anything else is, when you put a card in the top here, it will catch on this bit of paper. I know it's only thin, but it will. You put it in and it just wants to catch on that. So I'm going to add some washi tape to that. Here's my lovely purple washi tape that arrived after I'd started the project, so I haven't been using it. But I can use this piece will never get seen. Let's have a look what we've got. No, that's too nice to use. Too nice to use for something that will never be seen. Let's see if I've got something. I've got this, look. Can't see me using too much of this. But you never know. I do use some odd colours nowadays. I was talking, well, wasn't talking to Tony last night, but replying to a comment, I think, on YouTube, and I was saying how nice a a Timmy one of these would be in the new Timmy backdrops, you know, the really bright, well, bright for Timmy. Right, so I'm going to put some glue on this before I do that. So that's the top one, so it's going to get stuck here. So let's put some glue on that. That bit there. Then put our washi tape down. Just over that ramp in the road, because we don't need it. There we go. You'll be glad you did this when you haven't done it. Because it really does, it's so annoying trying to get the tags in when they don't want to go in. Right, so what I'm going to do now is ink around this, try and ink these pocket slits as well. Let's have a go and see how easy or otherwise they are to do. So yeah, the slits measure almost 4, just over 3 3/4, that sort of measurement. Oh yeah, I'll get in there, I think. Get in there to ink them a little bit anyway. Enough, I'd say. There we go. Right, so I'm going to stitch around, I'm going to ink around all of it and stitch around it, and then we'll come back and we'll stick it in the book and make the tags. So see you in a sec. Right, okay, so that's it stitched around. Just going to cut my threads off. I don't know where my little scissors are, so I'll attack it with the large ones. There we go. So this gets stuck down here. Unfortunately, I've stuck that down because I would have forgotten it. So let's... I am going to have a problem with that being double-sided because I want my tag to go in there right to the bottom, and it'll get stuck on that. So let's get some... I don't know, I thought I had... Yeah, is that it? Not sure what this is in here. Let's have a look. Yeah, it's just corn flour. So let's take that sticky side of that off. I haven't burnished it down, so it's not coming off. There we go. Take that off. Make sure I get this exactly in the right place. I think that is pretty central. There, like that. And I'm going to stick a piece of washi tape over here again for the... I was going to put cornstarch on it, but I've changed my mind. I'm going to put washi tape on it. Yeah, where did I put the washi tape then? Here it is. Just so nothing gets stuck on it again. Same problem as we did have above. So I'm going to cut a square end off. Hopefully that's squarish to go on there. And come up there. Yeah, that was not square. That was not square. Ugh. Let's just press that down good and proper so it's not going to interfere with anything. With pushing the journaling card or tag or whatever it is that goes in there. Right, so this is going to get stuck now down, but be careful because there's tags going in here. There's a tag going in there all the way to the bottom, a tag going in here all the way to the bottom. So you want to leave that channel with no glue on. You do want to glue above there because this wants to be stuck down, and all the way around the edge and a little bit at the bottom. So I'm going to use Collall for this, I think. No, I'm actually going to use this because I'm sticking onto washi paper and it's a curse to stick onto. So let's use this EVA glue. So right up to the top of there you can glue. On top of the top slit, all the way down the sides where the marks that we made, to the edge of the over that end of the washi. A little bit at the bottom, just like a normal pocket really. And up the other side. Right. I think that's it. Just going to pay special attention to those sides where the washi is. Right, so let's stick this on. Let's go to the top and do the top first. That's fine. And then as we come down, that should be perfect there, like that. Just check, yeah, that's fine. Let's see if I can fold this in some way that kind of everything's out of the way. No, I can't. I'm just going to have to deal with it as it is. Where's it gone? Oh my goodness, here it is. Oh dear, we're not even halfway through yet and it's already like a monster. Right, so make sure you've got all the bits that you've glued well pressed down. And we know, or I know, I'm going to have problems with my washi tape because I always do. But I can leave it. My lunch is almost ready. So I'm quite happy to leave this over lunchtime. That's just marginally too long at the bottom. So I am going to have to trim that. And I've no idea how I can manage it. Maybe a knife. Maybe the knife is the best way. I definitely need to get that out of the way. Right. Oh my goodness me. And I don't want to trim through my string. I definitely don't want to do that. Right, so it's kind of half or nothing, but it would annoy me. There we are, that's it. Yeah, that's it, that's lovely now. Happy with that. Happy. I think it's so little it doesn't actually need re-inking, although I will I can see that it needs a bit more ink. So let's just re-ink that along there. So let's bring this back to some semblance of order. There we go. So this now, lovely, yes, that fits perfectly. So this will shut down by going round there. And it doesn't even really need to go around a couple of times. You can, but it doesn't, doesn't need to. There's no great pressure on it or anything. And it is just a small button. So you might have to coax it a little bit to start with. But that's fine, I'm happy with that, that's enough. So, there we go, that's that. So what we need now, 2 tags. Oh, it's looking nice, isn't it? It's looking nice. Right, I'm going to go off now for my lunch, and I will join you again soon. And we'll carry on this madness. See you soon. Right, okay, I'm back. I've had my lunch. It was beautiful, thanks to Mr. F. But now we really have to get on with this. And I want to make 2 tags to go into those holes. And I don't know what I'm going to make them with. So let's have a look. I've got this. Why did I use this? Oh, I used it there, so I don't really want to use it here. Let's get the pad out again and see what we've got. That might be quite good. Yeah, could cut that down. And there's none of that around. No, that'll be fine. Excellent. So, how wide do I want it? Let's have a look. I'm going to bring it to the inside of where those holes are and trim it there, and then we'll see. We'll see if we need to trim it further or not. A lot of trimming and fuss, isn't there, in this journal? Loads of it. Okay. I imagine this is about right, but time will tell. That one to go in there. Oh yes, look at that. So I'm going to put that down to where it wants to stop. Then add on about, well, let me tell you what it is instead of saying about. I'm going to add on an inch. Too many things lying around. Can't get anything flat. Yeah, add on an inch, which brings us to there. So I want to trim that there. And that's our first little journaling card made. More or less, there's all sorts of things to do to it, but that's kind of it. And then the second one, I'm hoping I've got enough here, wants to go in there, and it slides perfectly over that bit where we put the masking tape, so that's great. Get that in straight. And I'm going to measure an inch above that, and that's where I want to trim that one, just there. And then we've got our 2 journaling cards. Hip hip hooray! So that nearly took the full 12 inches. So what we're left with is, I don't think I need this pink board anymore. Let's get rid of it because it's not helping proceedings. It was very helpful, but I don't need it now. Okay, so the small one measures 4 3/4 tall, and the large one measures 6 3/4. So what I want to, that's perfectly fine. One can journal on that, no problem. So I'm just going to round those corners off, just with the 1/4 inch. But try not to forget to add the masking tape to the back of your back of this one here, because it really does aid this going in. Otherwise it gets caught on it and drives you loopy. There we go. So even although these are quite a dark purple colour, I am just going to ink around them. Pop that one in. And the masking tape over where we put the string as well, that works perfectly too, so that's good. So we're really progressing. I feel we are progressing now. But we've still got one panel of this right hand side to do, and of course the entire left hand side. So we won't be finished anytime soon. But we've gone through quite a bit today. So if you're keeping up, that's brilliant. There we are. Lovely. That's really nice. They look lovely. You can still see the butterflies and everything. So what I want to do now is put something on the tops of these so they dangle, of course. When that's closed over like that, yeah, it looks nice. I mean, this is serving no purpose. It's just a piece of acetate. That's all. It's just another piece, another interactive piece, really. That's all it is. So let's see what we can add to these. I've got one of these, but I did use the other one somewhere, so probably not. I've got that. That's nice. Have I got another? Yeah, I've got another circle there. That's nice. And I could use a wooden heart. I think that would be okay. Not seeing anything wrong with that. Where's the other one of those? I'm pretty sure, guys, that I am going to have to order another. I've just found these and I think these might be better. Another Stamperia pad. So that could go there with a little heart. And that could go there with a little heart. Now that's quite nice. I like that. What's on the other side of that? It's just like a little... Is there another one of those anywhere? Thinking not. No, it's just one of those. That's a shame. I have got that instead of that, which looks a bit... What about that? Yeah, what about that? That's perfect. Let's do that. So, let's get that out. And for the tallest one, I want it over on this side. So... pencil, pencil, pencil. So about there. And that's got the, pretend reinforcement in it, and the heart's already stamped. And this one I want over here. Right, so let's do that. Wow, it's hard seeing these marks. Doesn't want to come out. Lovely. Right, so 2 more of this string stuff. After I've done this, I'm going to have a look through and see what it's looking like, because I'm feeling like it's looking quite nice. So through the heart, got to make it quite small to fit through there. Through the tag, through the card, excellent. I don't want this to be too long, because there's not that much space. It's only 4 inches, did we say? Something like that. So that one can go in there. Yeah, they're lovely. These are already done, so I just need to, oops. At least I'm using up this twine. I need to make that little to fit through there. Smaller than that. There we go. Right. Lovely. Just chop the ends off. Perfect. Okay, right. Let's put the lid back on my glue. We'll slide this in. We'll have a look through what we've done, what we've achieved today. Quite a lot, I think. Okay, so that's going to go down like that, and it's going to get held in place by this. That needs just a little bit of working on. It's quite tight, that. Needs the string wrapped around it a couple of times just to loosen it up a bit, but it's fine, does its job. So, where are we? Where are we? Right. So that goes in there. Is that right? No, this comes in first, does it? No, that's the last bit. That goes in there. This comes in here. Yeah. And then we've still got this piece, this entire piece to build on. But let's see where we are. So we've got this done, and I really like that. I think that works really well. It's pretty down there. We've got a really useful journaling card there. Excellent. Nice dingly danglies on it. Perfect. So that opens up, and we've got this. Got this big side pocket here. Nice journaling card in there with dingly danglies. We've got this, the two pockets here with the little bit of ephemera. I'm thinking about this bit here and what I could put there, because it just looks slightly bare. So I'm wondering whether our, you know, those gem things that I had, these ones in fact, whether I could get away with putting 3 of those there, just brighten its day up a little bit. I might do that actually, because it's an alternative as well. I'll use these little enamel things, as I quite like them. So I'll put one there. Just get over that bareness really. Oh, chasing this all over the page. There, I think is where I want it. And the next one about there. I think that did look alright till I touched it. It's down a fraction. Yeah, and the third one about there. Let's just have a look with the ruler, see what the state of play is. I think that's them all fairly square now. Yeah, okay, I think that looks better. It's something down there, isn't it? So that's that page. Then that flips out, and we've got, yeah, we need to decorate that as well. That flips up. We've got this journaling up here. We've got this top tuck here with a little, large journaling card in. We've got this with acetate window that flips up, and the 2 slip pockets with the journaling cards in and the nice flippy flappies. So let me just do this again. Every time you do it, it gets slacker, which is good. That's fine, like that. That goes like that, and that flips out like that. So we've still got that to do as well. So we've got to decorate this page and do something with this page. So that will be the next video, I reckon. And then we'll get on to the complexities of the left-hand side. So thank you very much for joining me today. It's undeniable. It's beginning to look really, really, really nice. Hold that there and you can see through the acetate. It's just looking lovely. So I'll see you again very, very soon. I hope those of you that are trying to keep up can keep up. There's a lot of time spent doing this, but it's time well invested, isn't it? Looks grand. So see you very soon. Take care now. Bye.